I like to see a complete house before I even start talking about specific changes on a room, because you're absolutely right. From the very beginning, I am the one that will say, if this space would work so much better if that wall wasn't here, or that door wasn't here, or that opening should be better, or maybe there were French doors in this wall over here to emit more sun, and so on. So it really, again, isn't this interesting, Jenna? It all starts with the function. In design, when I'm laying out people's homes, when I'm laying out the interiors, it's done. It's done to scale on a plan in black and white. There's no color, there's no thought as to design at all. It doesn't matter whether it's going to be Victorian or ultra-contemporary. Initially, it's got to work on paper. From that moment onwards, that's when we start getting into the colors and styles and all the decorative aspects like wall colors and fabrics and so on.
What do you want young people to know about the state of the market, the state of the profession, and the kind of careers and variety of careers that are available to them as they graduate from college?
I want them to know that this is the most truly wonderful, wonderful career that beckons them. If they have the passion to just a passion to be in, not necessarily live in, but to be in, to exist in beautiful interiors. Whether it's, as I said, whether it's their own home, whether it's a hotel room, whether it's the airport, it doesn't matter where they are almost fixated by their surroundings. And the realization that they can change that. Now, you see, the thing is that many interior designers, start with their own homes, and they play in their own homes, and they change colors and change fabrics, and they change furniture styles and such like. And then what typically happens is they either one, run out of rooms to do, or two, more likely, run out of money to do it. Then they realize that there are people out there that will give them their money to play with, to furnish, to decorate, to choose the fabrics, to choose the furniture pieces, just to make other people's homes and spaces really beautiful. And of course, it gets better. These people then pay the designer to do it. So you love what you do more than anything, and then just to do it and get paid for it is truly the best of the best.
At the risk of sounding crass, what sort of money can a good interior designer expect to make?
I'm tempted to say the sky's the limit, but frankly, the sky is very high. So it would not be unusual at all for a successful designer to be making anywhere from $50,000 to $250,000.
That's nice pocket change.
It's very nice. The fact is that one of the things you got to remember is that this is America. I mean, we've got 300 million people here. And when you start looking at the statistics of the people with money, and it's a small percentage, but when you take a small percentage of 300 million, it's a lot of people. A lot of people with a lot of money that have beautiful homes, and frankly, what they don't have is the skill and the expertise to even do their own homes. Many of these people are way too busy. They're running around making money, and they want their homes to be beautiful. They want to impress their guests. They want to impress themselves. I mean, they just want a beautiful home, but more to the point, they can afford it. And so they can't afford to do it themselves. They need to hire people to do it for them.
What does your own home look like? Can you take us on an audio tour?
Well, you referenced my first book, Let's Ask Michael, and I bring to your attention and to everybody's attention that there is another book in production. And the book in production is called, I will tell you up front what it's called, and, well, maybe I'll tell you what it's about. I am right now, Jenna, in the midst, maybe towards the latter part of a major remodel of my own home. This is being documented on film, it's being documented in photographs, and being documented in journals that I am keeping, and my wife is keeping 2 journals. And the fact is that this whole thing is going to be published, and it's going to be published, and the name of the book with its own DVD in it is The House of Payne.
It makes perfect sense.
This is something which we probably will not have until at least the latter part of this year, if not more likely the beginning of next year. And then you will be able to see my own home, its major remodel, the style that the house is in, and the interior that I chose to do in my own home, which frankly has been a huge challenge. Ask any designer, and they will all tell you the same thing. The most difficult projects they ever do are their own homes.
So if you want to know what Michael's home looks like, buy the book.
Exactly, The House of Payne.
Okay. Now, your wife lives there with you. She's your partner in life, but you're the expert, so how did the two of you work that out? As to who had how much say in what the house would look like?
It has been challenging. I wish I had a clone of me to step in between us on a fairly frequent basis to negotiate design dilemmas between me and my wife. We are no different than any other couple, and I have my feelings, of course, about what I think is the best solution to a design problem, and she very much has her own feelings about design and her likes and dislikes, and it would have been really nice had my wife said, "Oh, Michael, I just love what you do. I passionately love what you do. I've seen what you've done on lots of television shows and with clients. Why don't you just do it?" But in reality, of course, she is, after all, my wife with her own opinions and had a strong say in what it all looked like.
And that's the way it always is.
Always. It's as much her house as it is mine.
Now, you are the host of your own program on HGTV, as we said, Designing for the Sexes. Without mentioning any of your competitors on other networks, there have been a spate of these interior design shows on commercial television, cable television. The British shows are shown on BBC America in this country. Has this been overall good for your industry, or what do you think the overall impact has been?
I think it has been wonderful. I really do. I think it's been truly wonderful. My show, has been actually on the air for, hard to believe, but true. It's been on the air for 8 years. Oh, actually, in October of this year, it would be 9. So it was one of the true forerunners of this, as you said, this sort of spate of shows. Now, what I feel the positive aspect is that it really did open the eyes of a lot of people in the United States into realizing that they could live in beautiful homes, and they didn't have to spend, huge sums of money to have it. Because one has to remember where this industry of, the business of interior design came from. I mean, we're talking about a business whereby only the most elite of our society could, they'd have their own cooks, their own chefs, their own chauffeurs, and their own interior designers. I mean, these are the types of things that we all grew up thinking only the wealthiest people in the world could possibly afford such things. Now, so here comes my show, and here come all of these other shows. And what happens? Well, all of a sudden people go, well, I can live in a gorgeous house too, and I don't need to be spending tons of money. So I think it's been marvelous. One of the reasons, I think, for the success of Designing for the Sexes is, as against some of these other shows, is that Designing for the Sexes is as real as it gets. These are real people spending real money, theirs, and these are real projects.